Hello, my name is Shane with AllMax Software, and I'm here with your tech tip of the week. Today we're going to be discussing how to assign proper security to users inside Operator 10. We want to go through some different common types of users and how to make sure they're set up correctly inside your program. Let's go ahead and go to the application ribbon at the top of the program. We're going to click on the File tab, and then we're going to select the User Security icon. That's going to open up our User Security window. Inside this window, we're going to be able to configure user security on several different levels. The first tab is a list of all the users that have been added to Operator 10. You can see that you also have the option of including a position as well as a department for those users. There's some application security settings from the first users tab that you're going to want to be aware of. Two of the most important are going to be for database administration and user security. So database administration is going to allow anybody to update your current database to a new version. You're only going to want to have a certain individual do that, because if you do update your database to a new version, then all the other users will have to update their software as well to access the database. So that's something you're going to want to restrict. So inside the program, we've created a database administrator, and they have access to the database administration as well as to your user security. Your user security is the next section you're going to want to be careful of. This is the window we're currently in. So anybody that has access to user security will be able to access this section of the program and go in and modify security settings for everyone inside Operator 10. So you're going to want to restrict that access for certain users like data entry as well as supervisors. Now, mostly you're going to have three common users. You're going to have your database and administrators set up. You're also going to have your data entry users as well as some view-only users that you'll only want to allow to view data inside the program. If we tab over to our facilities here, you can see that for each facility, we've added a user, and you have the ability at the facility level to modify additional security for Operator 10. One of the ways that we make that quick and intuitive inside the program is we assign security grouping. So from the group column here, you'll be able to navigate down and select different security groups based on the user's profile. We can see that we've already set some of those up based on the user. So for an operator, they may have full access to the program. And you'll notice over here in the right panel of the security window, as we navigate down and security grouping changes, access to these different sections inside Operator 10 change with it. So these are some default security groupings. If you go to your next tab under groups, that will show your current security groupings. Now keep in mind, AllMax software by default assigns a denied, a full, and a restricted security group. The description of those security groupings are located right here. If you'd like to add additional security groupings, you can do that with the plus button. There's also a nice feature next to the plus button where you can add a similar security group. So let's say I wanted to add a view-only security group. So let me go ahead and add a similar security group. It's going to copy over all the restricted security settings. I'm going to modify the description of that to view-only so I know that. And then I'm going to rename the security group to view, okay? Once we've updated that, then you can go over here to your security in the right-hand panel and modify each section for access for that user. So we're going to go ahead and deny access for a lot of these features, and then view only for the features inside the program that this particular security group would have access to. And you can go through the panel, and you see as you have these drop-down options, I want to note that the least amount of access will be at the top of the menu that pops up, and the most amount of access for a user will be at the bottom of that menu. So you can go ahead and navigate through here and modify these changes for this new security group that we've created. We'll go ahead and do that real quick. The nice thing is once you set that up, you can go back to your facilities tab and you'll be able to go back here and change the security grouping for that new security group that you've added inside groups. As we navigate out to our next tab, you'll see we have LP permissions here. Inside LP permissions, you can actually assign a different security level to each location parameter inside the program. One way to do that is simply to highlight the location parameter and the end user and go ahead and modify the security level. There's a view only, there's a data entry, and there's an edit where they'll be able to actually make changes to the location parameter itself. If you wanted to modify multiple location parameters, you can use the AllMax search grid to locate that location. And then you can also filter it down even further by using your parameter here. If you wanted to only do that for a certain set of parameters, you would be able to modify that. Once you've done that, you can highlight, and then you can go into your edit feature here, and we'll be able to make multiple changes to these location parameter securities settings. So you can see now we've changed multiple location parameters for this end user. Another real nice feature inside Operator 10 is we have a lock data feature. So if we close out our security window here and we navigate over to our Tools tab, let me close that out, we can see that we have an option here to lock data. If that security setting is enabled for a user, they're able to go in here and lock data that has already been entered so it can no longer be modified. And what you'd have to do is you'd have to select a locked prior to date. So any data prior to the date you select in the calendar will be locked. So anybody trying to modify that data will not be able to do so, and they'll have to contact a supervisor to implement those changes. That's another useful way to stop people from modifying or making changes to calculated data or to data on a data view that you don't want modified without further permission. If we click OK, it will go ahead and lock that data, and then you will no longer be able to enter data for any data entered prior to that date. You can go back to your lock data feature, and you can enable the no lock data to remove that. So those are some useful tips on how to set up user security for Operator 10 and all the users that you have inside the program. My name's Shane here with AllMax Software, and that's our tech tip of the week.